Yo, what's going on guys? It's Anime1 back here with another video. Today I'm here with another part of What If Naruto was neglected and ended up like Obito. So if you guys like the content in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also like this video. So let's begin the video. Enma was currently standing in front of the nine-tailed fox sealed inside the cage. Nine-tailed fox was glaring down at Menma. He didn't want this, but he didn't want what was going to happen. His father had warned him about this, so I'm proposing I'll let you use my power until this war is over. And after that, no, I'm gonna get free and kill you, or something along those lines, stupid brat. The Nine-Tailed said. Ninma looked at the Nine-Tailed as if he was crazy. Do you really think I'll accept that proposal? Do you really think I'll just sacrifice my life? Do you really think I'll do that? Menma said. The QB looked at him. The boy was being too selfish. No, I don't think. But what other choice do you have? Do you honestly think you stand a chance against that masked man? I can sense, is as powerful as Madara was in his prime when he controlled me. And let you tell me, Madara, even if I hate to admit it, with his full power was even stronger than me. You don't stand a chance, brat. This war is as good as over if you don't cooperate with me. And if I get extracted from you, you don't want to know what will come back to this world. Trust me, that thing is even more dangerous than Madara, said the QB. What do you mean by that? Menma asked the QB. That's none of your concern. You'll know soon enough. No, you won't. If I get extracted from you, you're gonna die. But this is for both your and my survival. Think this as a pact for right now. And if any of us do not obey this pact, the other will simply vanish out of existence, said the QB. And how do I exactly sign this pact? And the pact will be that I'll be able to use your power, full power, and you'll cooperate with me. And after the war is over, you will just simply stay inside. I find that hard to believe, said Menma. The QB scoffed. Look, I don't have any interest in cooperating with you, brat, but I would rather stay with you than stay inside that statue and let that beast roam this earth again. I would never do that. I would never spit on my father's memory, said the QB. Your father? Are you referring to the Sage of the Six Paths? Said Menma with a smirk. The QB just glared down at the boy. Shut up, human, before I swallow you whole, said the QB. Ha ha ha, no, that's not gonna happen. You're sealed inside, you dumb fox, Menma said. QB glared down at him. Shut up, you redhead. Do you want to form this pact or not? Said the QB. And if you don't, remember my words and mark it. This will be the end of the world as you know it. Menma looked at the QB. Very well then, how do we form this pact? Exactly, said Menma. Look, it's simple, said the QB, as a scroll appeared inside of the seal. This is the pact between us. We both will sign this pact with our blood, and once that happens, it will form a contract and a bond between us. If any of us betray out the conditions that are in the scroll, one of us will have to face the consequences. That is death, said the QB. And how the hell are you gonna die exactly? Said Menma. Aren't you like, completely made out of chakra, so it's nearly impossible to kill you? Said Menma again. QB looked at him. The brat was actually thinking, yes, that would be the case, but with the pact, what happens is it consumes my entire chakra and then completely evaporates it, sending it back to the nature. Hence, I cannot reform. Whatever chakra you know that you and every else human use, brat, or from the earth itself. So it's gonna be not a big deal for the earth to simply absorb my chakra back into its system. It's as simple as that, the QB said. Very well then, you sign the contract first, Menma said. He wasn't willing to trust the fox, not one bit. The QB sighed. I wish I'd been split in half and only my dark side was with you. You would have never cooperated with you like this, said the QB. Oh, well, maybe I should have sent my dad to do so, Menma said. The QB glared. Shut up. And very well, I'll do it first, the QB said. He poked his finger with his teeth a little bit and signed the contract. And your turn, the QB said. Menma did the same, and he signed the contract with his blood. Done. And the seal started to glow with a purple aura. With that, the contract is gone. It'll stay right outside, and if any of us break it, remember, we will die, said the QB. Very well then, stupid fox. Let's do this. Let's take down this Madara guy, Menma said with a smirk. The QB actually smirked a little. Maybe I will get my revenge due to you, brat. If that does happen and if Madara is really killed, then you'll have my gratitude. Menma actually noticed that QB was actually doubtful about this. You do not believe that we can defeat him, even with your power, do you? Said the Menma. The QB looked at Menma. Madara Uchiha was someone I myself feared. He controlled me with his eyes like I was a puppet with only a single glance. That man is capable of doing so much. Power in his eyes remind me of someone. Indra Hototsuki. He is strangely familiar, and his powers are very similar to that man. So, thought the QB, but he didn't say that out loud. So Menma would never know it. That's none of your concern. Madara is a strong opponent, and from what I can tell, his Mangekyo abilities have just even got stronger. When I knew from what I know, he didn't have any space-time ninjutsu. And that space-time ninjutsu even makes it more bothersome to fight with that man, where he can just simply send his body parts away into another dimension and be intangible. And with his reaction speed, he's well capable of pretty much doing that to any other shinobi in this earth, said the QB. So, I guess I'll have to train to learn your control your power, won't I? Said Menma. No. That's not the problem. I'll simply teach you along when we battle, said the QB. Since we're gonna go, and that Tails is gonna be with us, it should not be a problem, said the QB. Very well then, Menma said with a smirk. Let's get going. Meanwhile, the war was raging on. Reanimation shinobis were fighting everyone. And Naruto was just sitting in front of the Geto statue. He didn't need any puppets to do his work. He would go in the battlefield himself and do what is necessary. But he needed to seal the Nine Tails away for good inside the Geto statue, and then seal the beast 10 tails away as well. That would balance out the powers again. No external force the shinobis could use. Not that shinobis would exist after his plans would succeed, but that's none of his concern. He vanished in a swirling vortex and appeared in front of Kabuto. So, how are things going? The first day of war is over, isn't it? Kabuto nodded to that question. Yes, the first day of war is over, and the results are quite balanced out. 50% of the white Zetsus have wiped out, and I guess you should thank me for that. I captured the wood style user for you, and then made him boost our white Zetsu's power by a lot. Kabuto said. The masked man looked at him. Very well then. Which division, according to you, is the most powerful one? Said Naruto. The Kabuto looked at him. Well, I would say the one with the Kazekage. That one is quite powerful. With a Kage in it, it's bound to be the most powerful division of all. Or the other division with Kakashi Hatake and Might Guy. Though that division is quite strong as well. And the Jinchurikis, have they not joined the battle yet? Are the Kages such fools that they think without Jinchurikis they stand a chance? Said Madara. Kabuto shook his head. No, that's not the case. Menma Uzumaki, he has gained the power to sense negative emotions, just like Mito Uzumaki, the first wife of Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage. And because of that, he has saved the Allied Shinobi forces by a lot. If not for that power of negative sensing, the Allied Shinobi forces would have killed each other, and the battle would have been over much sooner, Kabuto said. Madara nodded. Very well then. And where is Kushina Uzumaki? Kabuto spoke. Kushina Uzumaki is in the same division as the Kazekage. I will send some reanimations there tomorrow, said Kabuto. That won't be necessary, but do as you please. I'll go there myself, said Naruto. Kabuto looked at the masked man. And why do you want to do that? Kabuto's tone changed immediately. He was serious. Well, I should take down the strongest division the first to show a little power demonstration. I want them to feel how hopeless they truly are. And by extension, bring out the 5 Kages to fight me. That's my plan, said Naruto. As he started walking away, Kabuto looked at him. But before that, I will send the 4 reanimated Kages to fight the Allied Shinobi Forces 1st Division. So it will be a little demonstration for you. You just absorb the battle and think whether they are worthy of you or not. If not, you can just go to the other division where Guy and Kakashi are. I'm pretty sure they would give you a good fight that you're seeking for, said Kabuto. Madara nodded. Very well then, I'll be taking my leave, he said, as he vanished in a swirling vortex. The headquarters of the Allied Shinobi forces, located in Kuma. The 5 Kages were sitting at a table. This is not what we expected, said Anoki. He was rather surprised. Yes, due to the Jinchurikis entering the battle, we only lost 30,000 people. That is half of our forces. And the other side only has lost over 60,000, said Kaku. Yes, entering the Jinchurikis was a good choice. Otherwise, our casualty would have been much more since White Jutsu possesses that ability, said the Raikage. The others nodded. Yes, indeed a very troublesome ability. Just a little bit of trace of your chakra and then he can imitate whatever you are. That's quite bothersome, isn't it? Yes, indeed it is. Kisame Hoshigaki was also the same case. He substituted himself with White Zetsu. Well, meanwhile, me and my brother killed him. But he was killed by Menma Uzumaki afterwards, said the Raikage. He was the leader of the Allied Shinobi forces. Yes, indeed. But whatever the case is, they have lost more forces than ours, but they still outnumber us, said Minato. Yes, they have 40,000 left, whereas we have only 30,000 left, said Honoki. It's quite a troublesome situation, Mei said. Yes. What should we do, Shikaku? Minato asked the leader or the brains of the Allied Shinobi forces. Nothing for now. We have to wait for Madara to make his move. He is the main one in all of this, and the one who's casting the reanimation jutsu. Once those two are down, this should be a piece of cake, said Shikaku. Yes, but who is casting the reanimation jutsu? That's the main question, said Minato. Yes, indeed. Do you know anyone Hokage that would do this? That knows the reanimation jutsu? Said Onoki. Minato shook his head. The only one I know is Orochimaru, but he's dead. He was killed by Suki Uchiha, so I don't think that's him. Meanwhile, Suki was looking up at the sky. The rain was falling down and going down her body. She didn't know what to do. The masked man. His plans were too extreme. She didn't want to follow him, but she wanted to destroy Konoha. And for that, she would do anything. She wanted to kill Menma, who's the monkey, the most. That brat is the reason why Naruto had suffered so much. And the Hokage and his family, those were the people she wanted to kill the most right now. The elders, well, Danzo had already been dealt with. And the only one that was left was Homura and Koharu. She could deal with them anytime that she wanted. But those three, they were strong shinobis, so she had to deal with them the first. She was going towards the battlefield. The many white zetsus had tried to stop her, but she just burned them all down without any effort. So she could go and find them and take a revenge. Meanwhile, the next day happened, and everything went as same as the canon, and Tachi and Nagato meet Killer Bee and Menma while they were going to the battlefield. They battled, and everything went the same. Itachi gaining the control over himself with Kodo Amatsukami, since he confronted Menma while, Menma still wants to save Suki, right? So Itachi wanted to save Suki, so he gave him the same Kodo Amatsukami powers, so he could do what he wanted with those eyes. Now he's on his way to stop Kabuto and from doing the reanimation jutsu. So let's go to the part where Suki and Itachi confront each other. Suki was walking through the forest. Then she saw someone bouncing from branch to branch. She saw his face, those red eyes, the face that she could never forget. It was her brother. She jumped forward immediately and started calling out his name. Itachi, she said. Again, he didn't answer. Itachi, she called out again. It's been a long time, little sister. I hope you have gone stronger, he said. She gritted her teeth. Listen to me. Stop there, right now, she said, as a Susanoo hand came to grab Itachi, but Itachi flicked it away with his own Susanoo. Sorry, we'll talk later, Suki, but I have to do something first. I need to stop the reanimation jutsu, Itachi said. So what? Reanimation jutsu, this and that? I'm guessing that you're being reanimated as well because you're fucking dead. I don't care. I want to ask you some questions and you're gonna answer me. You hear me? She said. Like I said, I will talk later, Sugi. But I have to do something, he said again. She gritted her teeth. What? You're gonna run away like always now? Always flicking my forehead and telling me to forgive you. Itachi, this is not how it goes. You're gonna answer all of my questions. Are you filled with guilt so much that you cannot even answer your own sister, looking her in the eyes? Tell me, she said. Itachi shook his head. As we bowed before, I already said this to you. Everyone lives in their own fantasies, but what really matters is the reality, and my reality that you know is the truth, said Itachi. That pretty much confirmed it. And I know the truth about you, Itachi. That's why. That's why I'm gonna destroy the fucking Hidden Leaf Village and burn it to the ground, she said. Itachi flinched a little by that. But then he remembered Menma's words. Flashback. Menma and Itachi had recently were clashing with each other. And Menma looked at Itachi. Itachi, sorry for causing you so much trouble. Sorry that village did so much to you. I'm really sorry on the behalf of the Hidden Leaf, he said. Itachi looked at Menma and smiled. Menma, I hope everything will be in your hands. I'm leaving Suki to you. I hope you can do what is necessary, and you can do what I couldn't if the time calls for it, he said. Menma nodded. I'll try to save her, Itachi. I'll try my best and talk with her. But if talk doesn't work, I'll do what is necessary and do something that you couldn't, he said. Itachi nodded. He knew the decision of the shinobi and the decision that one must make. And since he was under the Kodama Tsukami right now, in his mind, he had to protect the Hidden Leaf the most, even over his little sister. I've got to know from the others how much you have changed, Suki, and I'm truly sorry for that, he said. Suki gritted her teeth. You wanted me to follow the path of righteousness and light? You knew you couldn't do that, Itachi. You knew right from the beginning, the moment you killed our clan, that I would never follow that path. That's why you Siri didn't know what to say. It was so hard. She remembered Toby's words that he spoke to her. Itachi wasn't to be blamed for any of this. He stole the entire burden of the Uchiha clan's massacre on himself. No one should ever question Itachi's decision. He killed every single shred of his feeling in his heart, but he couldn't kill you, Suki Uchiha. Itachi shook his head. I knew Naruto was there with you, so that's why I was not worried as much that you would follow the dark path. But once I heard that he died, I knew there was no stopping you now. The only thing binding you to the village was him, and once he was gone, everything was just falling apart. Itachi said. You could hear the emotion in his voice. He truly loved Naruto like a little brother, but yet all these things and reality had came back to bite him in the ass. Everything went out of plan when Naruto had died. I guess that's all my sins coming back to me, Itachi thought. Well, we'll talk later. I have to stop this thing, Itachi said as he increased the speed a lot, and that came to Suki as a surprise because he was moving fast before, but now he just used a body flicker. She could sense his chakra, so she followed him. Meanwhile, Menma's clone had arrived in all other battlefields and had taken care of all the Zetsus. In the first division, where Gaara and Kushina were, Menma's clone had taken care of the Third Raikage and had helped seal many of the reanimations away. So right now, most of the reanimation Kages were sealed away except for one. Mu, the second Mizukage, or the Tsuchikage, sorry for that one. Tsuchikage looked at the ground and looked around, and then he slammed his hand on the ground. Summoning reanimation jutsu, he said. And then a coffin rose from the ground. But before the coffin lid could fall off, it was blasted off. Naruto, who was just looking up in the sky, sensed a familiar chakra. That's the bastard Kabuto, Naruto thought. He soon teleported to the whereabouts of where he sensed the chakra coming from. The man stepped out of the coffin. You have groomed that brat Nagato quite well, Naruto. Wait a minute. This isn't Madara said as he looked around. You have revived me in this state. This is the reanimation jutsu, isn't it? This is not the rebirth, he said. The Kage in front of him nodded. Indeed it is. And who would have thought that you were of all people were in that coffin? Said Mu as he looked at Madara, who was standing in front of him. The real deal. Madara looked at Mu. Who is the caster of the reanimation jutsu? He said. The Mu just shook his head. Who knows? But before they could say anything, they sensed the air shifting around them as they saw a swirling vortex appear. So, he has finally come, Madara said. As he saw the man, Naruto was wearing his normal white mask with two eye holes in them, showing his glowing red Sharingan, along with the same outfit that Obito was wearing in the war arc. So, yep, that's pretty much the same. He doesn't have the gumbai on his back. He has a sword strapped on his back instead, the sword that he stole from the Minato clan, the same one. Madara looked at his grandson. It's been a long time, hasn't it, grandson? Madara said. Naruto looked at Madara with an unimpressed look. Grandfather, the bastard revived you, didn't he? Well, since he has, I was gonna come to this division anyway to do some cleanup work. That bastard, I think, wants me to fight you. For both of us to fight, you say, Naruto? That. Why would we even do that? You know, in first hand, I would rather die than hurt you, don't you? Madara said. Even for someone like him, who showed very less emotions, the only person he had cared after as much as his brother was Naruto, and he wouldn't do anything to harm his grandson. That's exactly, but that bastard thinks he can control you. What a waste. Anyways, I have to show you something, some revelations that has happened over the years. So, might as well do it. Naruto said as he looked Madara directly in the eyes. Sharingan, Genjutsu. To others, it may seem like a second passed, but to Madara and Naruto, it was a couple of hours that went into the world. Naruto showed all of his memories that he had with the Shinigami and the truth about the infinite Tsukuyomi to Madara. And once they're out of the Genjutsu, Madara looked at Naruto with the most emotion that Naruto has saw ever in his grandfather's face. The emotion that he saw right now was one of a shock, guilt, and sadness. You mean all this time? Madara said. Yes, Black Zetsu has been manipulating you right from the beginning. I guess it's not your fault. You thought that you could create something because you had the Rinnegan, but along with your stage, you couldn't do something like that, grandfather. Maybe if you were in your prime, I would have believed it. But you were barely alive till you did get a statue. It was hard to believe, even with your Rinnegan, you could create Black Zetsu. That's basically impossible, Naruto said. Madara clenched his fist. That bastard. So, what do you plan on doing now, grandson? Madara asked. Naruto shrugged. Revolution, in simple languages. I want peace in this world like you do, grandfather. And for that, ninjas cannot exist. Chakra, everyone will still have it, since I don't want everyone to die out. So, Madara said. You simply want to disregard the whole system of the shinobi that me and Hashirama have fighted for so long. All of our wrongdoings you want to correct and start from zero. Is that what I'm hearing? Madara said. Naruto nodded. Yes, the shinobis cannot exist anymore. That's how it is. I will end the era of the shinobi, Naruto said. Madara smirked. That sounds like a plan, but how are you going to achieve it exactly? They both were talking like Mu didn't exist, but Mu could hear everything to Kabuto. So, that is his grandson, huh? I wonder who's under that mask, Kabuto wondered. So, that's how you want to achieve it. Seal away all the tail beasts so there could not be any balance of power anymore. Whichever the nation is the strongest will rule. Is that what you're saying? Martyr Naruto shook his head. No, no. All nations will unite into one nation, and whatever will happen in between is going to be a civil war, not a full-scale war happening between two nations where countless amount of people die, grandfather. Do you understand how this is gonna work? Naruto said. Madara smirked. That sounds like a plan. I wonder why me and Hashirama didn't did that before. Well, I think I would have done that, but Hashirama was just too naive to think of something like that. You truly are my grandchild, aren't you? Madara said. Naruto smirked under his mask. Well, you could say that. Why don't you enjoy the show that I'm gonna put up for you? This is gonna be a slaughter that I'm gonna put on this division. And under these, your daughter-in-law, in a way you could say, is here too. Madara's eyes lit up on hearing that. You say Minato's girlfriend or wife is here, you say. That means your biological mother. Kabuto's eyes widened hearing that. Through Mu he could hear everything. What biological mother? But Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze only had 2 children. And the way he said that, don't tell me Minato is, Kabuto thought. And that man under that mask, it couldn't be, Kabuto thought. Naruto looked at Mu. You, on the other hand, Naruto started walking towards Mu. Mu couldn't move anymore. What are you doing? Mu said. Naruto's one eye had changed. Madara noticed that. So that's your Rinnegan ability. Very interesting. Do both of your eyes have different abilities, or the one eye has one, or the both of the eyes have same abilities? Asked Madara. They both have 2 separate abilities. The one I'm using right now, as you can see, does this. Naruto said. Mu wasn't able to move. What are you doing, you bastard? Kabuto said through Mu. Oh, so you're finally showing your face, Kabuto. Don't worry, after this war is over, you will be dead as well. How dare you revive Madara without my permission? Do you honestly think that you have grown a pair of balls for yourself? Remember who is in charge, Naruto said as he put his hand over Mu's head. And now, human path, Naruto said as a soul came out of Mu and his reanimation jutsu was released. The body of the stone shinobi dropped down, dead. That scene never seems to amuse me. How the Tobirama creates a jutsu. Well, so what do you say, Naruto? Want to have a dance with these people and make your plans come into fruition? Madara said. I don't need you, grandfather, but if you want to stay and watch the show, go ahead, be my guest, Naruto said, but don't spoil my fun. This is personal to me, unlike you, Naruto said. Madara shrugged. Very well, if that's what he wants, I'll just watch the show, he said. No, they both nodded and went towards the cliff that was above. A sentry ninja among the group sensed 2 large chakra signatures approaching them. They're 2 large chakra signatures. What the hell are those 2? It's something on a completely different levels. They reach Bizu levels, he said. But they all looked up and saw 2 figures. The first one they knew very well. The masked man with the white mask and his Uchiha outfit. but the other one, it shocked them. That's that's Madara Uchiha, said one of the people in the Leaf Village that was in the 4th Division. But if that's him, Onoki, who had just arrived in the battlefield to seal away Mu, also looked up. Yes, that's definitely Madara Uchiha, because he looks the exact same. But if that's the case, why is he reanimated? And who is that masked man? Tadanoki. All of them looked at him. Just who in the world is behind that mask? They all thought. But soon, Gaara was the one to take the initiative first. But before that, Naruto and Madara were talking. Their headbands say Allied and Shinobi in them. Is this some kind of Allied Shinobi forces? Said Madara. Naruto nodded. Indeed it is. All the 5 great nations have banded against me, since I defeated quite capable shinobis all at the same time. Not only that, this entire war started because to capture the 8 and the 9 tails, or that is my excuse to start this war anyways. I need them to bow down and accept what's gonna come to them. Madara looked down at the Shinobi forces. Huh, that old fool, is that the fencer brats of the stone? Said Madara. Naruto nodded. Yes, he has become quite an old man, hasn't he? This shows how much time has passed. Don't you agree, grandfather? He said, but before Madara could reply, a wall of sand came behind them and tried to grab them. Both of them jumped down. Well, I guess it's time to start my dance.